What is up, Gamer Army? Welcome back to Psycho Gamer. I'm your host, Aubrey, and today we are going to talk NFL Blitz. I know I did a video a couple weeks ago on NFL Blitz, but the question on everybody's mind right now is, why haven't they announced this title yet? All the evidence is there. Let's take a look at the evidence right after this. But before we go and look at this information, make sure you hit that like and subscribe and turn on those notifications, guys. Stay tuned. We're going to talk some NFL Blitz. All right, welcome back, guys. Like I said, we're going to talk a little bit of NFL Blitz today. I don't necessarily need to go switch into my computer to talk about this because we've already looked at much of the evidence. We've already seen the NFL Blitz stool up for order whenever it goes live. We've already seen the FCC paperwork knowing that NFL Blitz is on the way. Well, what is the holdup? Now, we just actually went through Summer Game Fest and we didn't hear a peep from Arcade1up. Now, if we're going to be looking at this October, November timetable that the magical Gamefly list was actually projecting, they need to actually get to where they want to build that excitement. Yes, we are still talking another 4 months away, but there's going to be more games that we know that they're going to be putting out there, such as your Time Crisis and your Marvel vs. Capcom 2. We know those titles are coming. I mean, it's just, the list has not been wrong. I know I keep going back to the list, and it seems kind of redundant to keep going back and back and back to this particular list. But what do you guys think? Do you think that they should have already announced NFL Blitz? Or do you think they're going to announce it a little bit farther down the line? Maybe in September, maybe even October, maybe beginning of October. It doesn't really give it much time to really build that much momentum for not just this one title, but all three of the titles that we are all expecting. Now, there was only a couple titles that weren't on the list, such as your Joust and your Dig Dug. So those are like the only two titles that I can recall that were not on this particular list. But the list was an amazing list. It was great that it was leaked or released when it actually was. But with giving us an idea of what's coming in the future, yes, it spoiled a lot of stuff when it came to Arcade1up's future release list. Will we end up getting this information next year? It'd be nice if, somebody leaked the list up, but I guess Arcade1up doesn't want to give everybody's the hope that they tend to give, and then it takes them forever to release a title. I mean, look how long it took them to get Terminator 2 out for so many people. Look how long it took them to get these XL cabinets out, especially starting with bringing a little bit of golf goodness to everybody's homes. And now it's, we're waiting for NBA Jam Shaq Edition and, and Killer Instinct. I mean, where's the Killer Instinct Pro? Now, hopefully they will announce a pro version of NFL Blitz. I don't think they're going to, but I think if they did announce a pro version of anything, it should actually be Marvel vs. Capcom. Time Crisis, yes, it would be nice, but you can only do so much with a shooting game. Maybe give an XL version, maybe not a pro version of that one, and just make it where you have, a little bit bigger screen when it comes to those particular titles. I mean, even Marvel vs. Capcom would be great with an XL one because people love seeing those bigger screens. Now, I have an arcade where I live here. It is a barcade, so you pay a flat rate of $10 and you buy their alcohol from them. It's nice, but the one game that they have for Marvel vs. Capcom 2, the screen is not that great. You can tell it's an older CRT. It is in desperate need of renovation when it comes to that game. Even the marquee is very washed out, and I hate to say this, the Arcade1up marquees actually look better than this particular cabinet, but the gameplay is still there. But unfortunately, if it doesn't look that great, you're not really going to want to play it. So generally that game, from what I saw the one or two times I went to this arcade, not as many people were playing it. I went and I played some Miss Pac-Man. I had some fun with that because, well, it's Miss Pac-Man. I mean, you really can't go wrong with that game unless you're just not into those types of games that go on and on and on. Now the question is what titles are they actually going to have on this NFL Blitz cabinet? Are they only going to have 2 games? Because I think there was only like 2 arcade games that they truly released, and that was NFL Blitz 99 and the 2000 Gold Edition. You know, there were a couple more arcade versions that they could possibly get out there, but I mean, they are console. I mean, could they program them to work with these particular cabinets? It wouldn't be the first time they did. I mean, you've got to look at some of the other fighting games that they've actually put out there on your Marvel Superheroes cabinets as well. So it would not be the first time, or really the last time, we would see them adding a couple of extra titles. It's a matter of them getting the rights to all of these particular games. Now, I mean, they could do arena football games. You know, there's so many different types of titles they could put out there. But is it only going to be NFL? Are we going to spend $500 and $600 on these 2 different SKUs that we've seen with that particular FCC list, and that be it? Now that would be a shame, but it wouldn't really surprise me because they want to release it as a Blitz cabinet, which is what a lot of people have been screaming for. Just like a lot of people were screaming for the Simpsons cabinet, and they got the Simpsons cabinet. Unfortunately, there just were no titles to really add on to it other than Simpsons Bowling. They could have put other titles on there, especially from consoles, but I think they wanted to kind of give it just that straight up arcade feel. Now, Midway, could they release this and maybe update the rosters a little bit? It would be a little hard to get around EA's reach when it comes to this. They must have signed some agreement with Midway as well as EA. I'd like to see a super high impact football personally put on this. That would be amazing because that was a fun game. So if you guys haven't seen that, go check it out. There's tons of videos on YouTube. Super high impact football was a great football game. Plus there's many other titles they have out there. So they even have the game called Cyberball, which was another kind of like a robotic football game that was released in the arcades. It had 2 screens, 2 separate screens, kind of like some of those Nintendo head-to-head type cabinets. So there were a lot of really cool games back at that time that they could possibly put on this. Not saying they couldn't, but I mean, hey, here's hoping. But that's going to do it for today, guys. Just wanted to kind of put it out there that we still have not seen this release date of NFL Blitz, and it's a matter of why. And the question is when are they actually going to release the information for this game? Because we all really want to know. Is it going to have 2 games? Is it only going to have a single game? So make sure you hit that like and subscribe, guys. I appreciate you guys coming in, checking the video out, and stay tuned for the next episode of Psycho Gamer, whenever that'll be. Game on.